What you heard were the sacred bata drums, the heartbeat of La Regla de Oca, and what you saw are glimpses of its healing ways, rituals of faith, spirit, and community. La Regla de Oca is a Caribbean spiritual tradition, deeply rooted in African influence, a living tapestry of culture, ancestors, and healing. Today, we explore its history and origins, meet the Orishas who guide it, and discover how it continues to uplift and transform the lives of its practitioners. Have you ever heard of Santeria? Well, let's talk about the real name, Regla de Oca. This beautiful Afro-Caribbean religion blossomed in Cuba during the colonial era and is also known as Lukumi Ifa or Abakwa. The term Santeria was actually a derogatory label used by colonial clergy to look down upon it, so it's not a name its practitioners embrace today. Followers of Oca worship the Orishas, who are sacred forces of nature recognized as divine beings. More than anything, Oca is about connection. It emphasizes a deep bond with your ancestors, your community, and the spiritual world that surrounds us all. When Yoruba people were brought from Nigeria to Cuba, they were forced to abandon their religion, but their spirit was unbreakable. To keep their beliefs alive, they did something incredible through religious syncretism, where beliefs are merged to create newer ones as evidenced by the combining of the Orishas and Catholic saints. For instance, Obatala, the Creator, and the Great Mothers Yemaya and Doshan were all seen in the Virgin Mary. The clever trickster Elegua, guardian of crossroads, became linked with Saint Anthony, and the mighty Shango, god of thunder, was syncretized with Saint Barbara. This wasn't just about survival, it was a brilliant act of cultural resilience. The Yoruba people preserved their ancient spirituality right under the noses of their oppressors, creating a vibrant, unique faith that has evolved Caribbean society and culture. In Cuba, they established Cabildos de Nation. These were social organizations which preserved the language, music, and religion.
Olodumare is the ultimate creator and source of ash, which in Yoruba cosmology means ultimate spiritual power. He is the sacred life force. Olodumare is not depicted in human form and is rarely worshipped by humans. In fact, the Orishas function as intermediaries between humans and the supreme being. Shango, he is an old, fiery, and powerful Orisha. However, Shango is better known as the god of thunder, fire, and leadership, and is seen as the embodiment of masculinity. During a summoning ritual, he is said to take on the appearance of a bull, with his tongue stuck out and holding his genitals. Ogun, he's strength, resilience, labor, technology, and progress. A true warrior who clears paths through determination and hard work. Where there is struggle, Ogun will bring endurance. Orunmila is the keeper of all sacred knowledge, master of the Oca divination system. He guides truth, destiny, and wise decision-making, and through him, seekers find clarity.
Elegua is the trickster Orisia, known for marching and waving his red and black flags, a fearless deity of the roads, who opens and closes paths for practitioners. Oshun, she represents love, beauty, sweetness, and fertility, and also feminine power. She is also associated with the river and honey. Yemaya, she is the mother of all Orishas, and as such, is the embodiment of motherhood. Yemaya also embodies qualities of nurturing, protection, and strength. She is seen as ruler of the oceans, and as such, devotees consecrated to her avoid eating fish. Obatala is an very old spirit of peace and purity. She also embodies clarity, justice of the law, patience, and wisdom. She is a true leader of calm authority and precedent of good character. Babaloaya, he is linked to illness and suffering, yet also miraculous healing. Protector of the sick, he offers recovery, compassion, and resilience in the face of hardship. Abba symbolizes devotion, fidelity, and sacrifice. She teaches balance in love and marital relationships, guiding the resilience needed for marriage and family bonds. Oak is seen as a mountain, and like mountains, he is grounded in stability, protection, and enduring change. He stands for inner strength that is steady and unshakable. Oh yeah, she governs winds, storms, and transformation. She is fierce, intuitive, revolutionary, and brings change, endings, and rebirth of the soul. The Orishas we've met are only part of a vast pantheon, yet these are the ones most often called upon, each connected in some way to the central focus of Ocha, which is healing. Healing of the body, spirit, and community. After the 1959 revolution, Cuba's socialist regime condemned Ocha as backward, dismissing it as a so-called ghetto practice. This was in contrast to the state's pride in its now modern healthcare system. But Ocha endured quietly in homes and communities. Then later, during the 1990s, quote-unquote special period, when Cuba's health system began to falter, the healing traditions of Ocha reemerged as an accessible, local, and deeply spiritual means. It therefore became a response to the ongoing crisis, a way of caring when other systems failed. The core of Regla de Ocha is centered around spirit possession, where Orishas temporarily occupy the body of a devotee in order to give guidance. However, it firstly requires that the religious leader, known as the Babalawo, prescribe a ritual remedy in either of two forms, an omiro or an ibo. The omero is the sacred herbal infusion used for cleansing. It sometimes also infuses cigar smoke and can either be simple or elaborate. The same can be said for ibo. However, this is more seen as the ritual offerings involving animal sacrifices usually, to give thanks to the Orishas and resolve larger problems such as physical or mental illnesses. Divination. Divination is the seeking of knowledge and guidance. It occurs in two ways. The first, Dilagon, uses 16 cowrie shells. The second, Ifa, employs an opal chain constructed from ikin, better known as palm nuts. These sacred emblems are consecrated during ritual, often through animal sacrifice, and serve as vessels of divine communication. Rituals weave together drumming of the bataz dance, food, and sacred emblems. The beta drums call the Orishas. The dances embody their presence. The offerings of Otane's cowrie shells or the opal chain invite the Orishas to descend, to heal or to guide, depending on the purpose of the ritual. These ceremonies are performed at the request of devotees or as part of more complex initiation rites. Like mainstream Christianity, Ocha too has its daily observances. Everyday life is infused with devotion through songs, chants, and through prayers. As the Bauta drums fade, we are reminded that La Regla de Ocha is more than ritual, more than faith. It is the living memory of Africa carried and developed across the crucible of the Middle Passage and the great sugar plantations. Ocha became not only a religion, but a foundation of Caribbean civilization itself. From the cabildos of Cuba to the rhythms of today, Ocha is heritage. It is also survival, and it is identity. And above all, it is healing. La Regla de Ocha is the heartbeat of the Caribbean, keeping spirit, culture, and healing alive.